All right, welcome back to the second episode of the podcast. My name is Reese Thompson. I'll be your host, and today we've got the full crew back with me again. My right-hand man, Grayson, with me as always. And we've got Josh, Charles, and Josiah stepping in as our so-called experts. And today we'll be diving into the iconic San Xavier del Bac Mission, also known as the White Dove of the Desert.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, this one's got way more going on than just a pretty white ornamented church in the desert. There's history, culture, architecture, and apparently a mouse carved into a wall.
Yeah, don't worry about that. We'll get to that later. It's an extraordinary work of art.
All right, Josh, kick us off. What even is this building? Why does it matter? And what we'll be covering today?
Wow. First of all, thank you to our hosts, Grayson and Reese T, for having us back. We were on this great podcast back in, I think it was November, right? We were back talking about the Pantheon.
Somewhere around there.
We're flying across the ocean. We find ourselves in Arizona, talking about the San Xavier del Bac Mission. And this was rooted in the Spanish colonial expansion. Spanish colonists moved north into what's now Arizona to claim land for New Spain. The Mission itself was a part of that, built to serve and convert the local indigenous population, specifically the Toho Odin people.
Yeah, and that's important. The mission wasn't just religious. It was cultural and political too. It was meant to Christianize Hispanic, Native Americans, and reshape the region.
So when did it actually get built? Like, this seems a little bit unclear to me.
Let me clear it up. Let me clean it up with some squash. The construction started in 1783, and it was completed in 1797. That's pretty much a childhood. That's like the lifetime of like a dog.
Yeah,
but
pretty much.
Before that, Father Ebiso Kino, a Jesuit missionary, came into that area in 1692 and started the groundwork for the San Xavier. He even built a temporary mission in 1756.
And then Father
Juan Bautista Verdurin
helped carry the permanent version forward, so it wasn't a quick project. It evolved over time.
So this was made during Spanish colonialism, and then eventually it became a part of the United States, right?
Yeah, through the Gadsden Purchase, which was executed by Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States. And that's when the mission officially became a part of the United States, in the great state of Arizona, specifically.
Wow. Josiah, what a great state Arizona is. I love Arizona so much that I've actually refused to go. I've never been to Arizona.
You should go sometime.
I'm okay. Thank you, though.
It's actually a very nice state. So now to get into the architecture and design side of the building, I have Grayson with me here, and I know this is his stuff, so I'm going to let him talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, so architecturally, this place is kind of wild. It's entirely European-inspired, Spanish colonial style with a Latin cross floor plan. That means you've got a nave, transepts, crossing, and it's all laid out in that classic cruciform shape.
And structurally, it's built with very thick walls, arches, and you guys aren't even going to believe this one. Also vaults. Materials include low-fire clay brick stone, lime mortar, and adobe, which makes a lot of sense for the desert climate we find ourselves in Tucson. And I bet the San Xavier would even survive an apocalypse.
Honestly. But what's even crazier is the craftsmanship. Artists from Querétaro in Mexico made sculptural elements and transferred them by mule to the site.
Now that's commitment. That's the commitment that I've been yearning for.
Yearn.
And visually, it's striking. The white stucco facade contrasts heavily with the desert, which is why it is called the White Dove of the Desert. And you know me, I'm a huge facade guy, just like a professor, Edgardo Perez.
And what about the towers?
Reese, I knew you were going to ask me this question. The towers, they are two octagonal towers, and they're with belifers on top. They are considered to be super iconic, and that's why I knew you were going to ask me this question. They frame the facades that we love so much and give it that vertical emphasis.
But then you go inside and it's a completely different experience.
Speaking of the interior, Charles, why don't you take us inside and describe a little bit about that?
All right. Well, the interior is very Baroque, super ornate, dramatic, and almost theatrical. You've got painted frescoes, sculptural elements, and even illustrations like faux doors and curtains.
Yeah, that theatricality and that dramatism really is the key. It was meant to inspire awe and communicate religious ideas visually.
There are frescoes of Catholic saints in the choir loft, showing their lives and influence, and the space itself includes the sanctuary, nave, crossing, choir loft, and of course, Reese Thompson's absolute favorite, the towers.
There's also Moorish influence in the interior design, which adds another layer of cultural blending.
So it's layers. Basically, it's European architecture, indigenous context, and global artistic influence all in one building.
Exactly.
So then let's talk about some of the unique details because this place definitely has a lot of personality.
One of the coolest things, I think, is the integration of the Tohono O'odham culture. There's a metal gate featuring the man in the maze, which represents Itoi, the creator god.
Even the name, Back, it comes from the O'odham culture in the village Whack, meaning something like where it goes or to emerge.
So even though it's European in design, it's deeply rooted in local culture.
Exactly. But then there's a mouse.
Yeah, explain a little bit more about that.
There's literally a small mouse carved into the limestone with nails for eyes. It's even being chased by a cat.
Oh my goodness, that's literally insane.
All right. Before we keep breaking down the beauty of the San Xavier del Bac Mission, the white dove of the desert, we got to talk about something equally as important. Your
Because
hygiene.
let's be honest. If you were living in the 1700s building missions in the Arizona heat, things got a little musty.
And that's where Dr. Squatch comes in. Natural soap, no chemicals, no weird stuff, just straight up manly scents that actually smell like the outdoors, not a science lab.
Now, I'm not saying the missionaries needed it. All I'm saying is history would have smelled a lot better.
Low key, if you pulled up to the San Xavier back then wearing something like pine tar or bay rum, you're instantly the most respected guy on site.
100%. Today, instead of smelling like 300-year-old adobe walls,
Which we love architecturally.
But not personally.
you can smell like a man who appreciates craftsmanship and takes care of himself. Dr. Squatch, smell like history, just upgraded.
All right, back to it. This building's really old. So what happened to it over time?
I'm really glad you asked this because there's been a lot that's happened over time. It faced earthquakes, tornadoes that damaged the structure and even the interior.
Yeah, in 1887, an earthquake caused major damage, and later, Bishop Henry Granwan oversaw repairs and renovations in the 20th century. I mean, this thing lasted 400 years somehow. I mean, it's still standing.
Yeah. But not all restoration attempts were good, right?
Exactly. Some of them used cement walls, which trapped moisture and actually caused structural deterioration over time.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I should have sat in Gallagher's.
Yeah, but we're lucky because the ongoing restoration efforts are trying to preserve it properly now. And as I said earlier, this thing, I mean, I'm serious, guys, it would survive an apocalypse.
Oh, it totally would. And it's still active. It holds regular masses and functions as a church today.
All right, so wrapping this up, why does this building matter for us today?
From an architecture standpoint, one of the best preserved examples of Spanish colonial designs in the U.S. is this very building.
And it's actually the oldest intact European building in Arizona. I love that state, even though I've never been.
And culturally, it represents a complex intersection of faith, colonization, and indigenous identity.
It's not just a building, it's a story.
And honestly, it shows how architecture can carry meaning across centuries. All right, that's going to wrap it up for today. Big thanks to Josh, Charles, and Josiah for bringing the heat.
Yeah, this one was stacked.
If you enjoyed this, stick around. We've definitely got more coming. Until next time, thank you, Professor Mulder. Peace.
Peace.